and welcome to my channel. I'm Jen. Today we're going to talk about how to beat the summertime blues, and I'm going to give you a DIY that's going to save you hundreds. It is so hot outside, 100 degrees without any break. Here's the tomato plant. It's on its last leg. As you see, I've ripped out all my other tomato plants. It's time to start seeding some new ones. Here in Texas, it matters where you plant things. You see these flowers? They are getting direct sun all day, and these flowers have a little bit of shade. So when my plants are done, I take them out and I cover the soil, this time with hay. And I wanted to show you the spinach plant. Yes, it's a spinach plant. It's from King Tut's tombs. I got the seeds off of Baker Creek Heirloom seeds, and it loves the heat. It is just thriving and growing, and I'm so excited. And here is my loofah wall that I put on my old fence, and it is so thirsty and hot. I mean, I do water it. It's just never enough. The figs, they don't mind the heat, and you know, I don't mind eating them. I'm in my food forest now, and this is what the peach trees look like in the middle of the summer. And here's a watermelon. This is my favorite variety. It's called the Charleston Grate. And if you guys can grow watermelon, you need to grow these. And these are my grapevines. And a lot of times I like to pretend like I'm in a hot area like Greece or something and looking at grapevines. And here's some more hay that I've laid down. Even the peppers dry out in the heat without being harvested. So a lot of things go to seed in the heat, and here's the basil seeding, and I can't wait to harvest everything. I have planted tons of flowers all over the garden this year, and they just make me so happy. What kinds of flowers do you like to plant around your garden? Maybe you can give me some suggestions on some heat-loving flowers for my area. This extreme heat, it's not forever. It's probably about only 2 months, but I try to stay inside or in the shade as much as I can. I live in an old house, and so covering the windows is important to keep it cold. What are some things that you do during the hot season? You know, because I'm inside so much and going from place to place, just staying inside, sometimes I get the summertime blues. I don't know, are you at all like me and get a little sad in the middle of summer? I'm hoping to inspire you, to give you a few things to do in this stifling heat. Something to get your mind off of those negative thoughts and point them in another direction. Let's make some tea. Herbs are so easy to grow. Here's some basil and rosemary. We just planted those, so they're tiny babies. I found one that wasn't so small and harvested just a little bit. I had some mint, and I did notice that it needed some water. Poor guy, I watered it right after this. Holy basil, rosemary, lemon balm, and or mint all have mood elevating and stress relieving qualities to them. After cleaning the herbs, I add them to a glass container with some hot water. Then I add in a few tablespoons of honey, and I let it steep for a good 10 minutes or so. Of course you could drink it like this, but with the weather being so hot, I am just going to add some fresh water to it and make myself a nice tall glass of iced tea. Keeping your hands and mind busy during this time is important too. I have recently gotten into canning, and I absolutely love it. I would highly recommend the Ball Canning Cookbook. It's just filled with amazing recipes, and you can just start with water bath canning. Cleaning things out and staying organized, man, I can never do enough. Here I am planning out the meals, and I don't just plan out dinners. I plan out breakfasts and lunches, and sometimes even snacks. During this downtime, I also like to make laundry detergent. Start by grating the Fels-Naptha soap. That's really the hardest part. You're going to put it in a heavy bottom saucepan with 4 cups of water. I've been making this laundry detergent for 17 years, and my son, who has sensitive skin, he never breaks out when I make this. So now I want you to fill up a second large pot full of water, and here I am rinsing out a 5-gallon bucket. You want it clean because your laundry detergent is going to sit in it. All right, so now we've been cooking the soap and the small pot for about 5 minutes. I wanted to show you what it looks like. It is not ready. It has big clumps. In the past, I've used tap water, but now that I have my Berkey, I absolutely love using filtered water. 10 more minutes and the soap has melted and there's no more clumps. So now I pour that into my 5-gallon bucket. I'm also going to pour that big vat of boiling water that we have on the stove. I have a cup of borax and a whole cup of super washing soda, and stir, stir, stir. So I garden and I'm a messy person. I also have kids. So I add in a stain remover and I choose OxiClean. I add in 3 cups of OxiClean right now when it's warm. All right, so then you're gonna stir again, make sure it's all incorporated, and then you're gonna fill the bucket up all the way to the top, and you're gonna let it sit overnight. And so the next morning you're gonna open it up, and the whole thing is kind of like this solid, hard jello. And you're gonna break all that up with an immersion blender, and so it'll be nice and creamy. I like to fill up old milk jugs, but you could also refill a container that you have just by popping that little part off. And then you have a nice big opening to fill it up with. The total amount made was 4 gallons plus a little bit more, and the cost per gallon was $1.50. Another thing to do during the summer blues is to read about heroes or survival stories. Right now I'm reading a wonderful book about someone surviving through the Holocaust and saving Jews. Reading a story like this makes me so grateful for all the wonderful blessings that I have in my life. After I get done reading all the things we couldn't say, I'm going to be reading Hiding in the Light and In the Presence of My Enemies. Another thing that is so important is to exercise, to walk, run, dance, jump, swim, lift weights, whatever makes you happy, you should do it. Not only does it release endorphins in your brain and makes you happy, but it helps you to relieve stress. And if you're frustrated at something, it's just so nice to get it all out in a sport. The next bit of advice I have for you is to serve others. Here I am making a huge sandwich to give to a group, and I just love making food for other people. You can make food, you can drive people places, you can sit and listen to them. There are so many ways you can serve others. Just start today. So whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is kind or gracious, think about these things, dwell on them, and put your mind in that place. If you enjoyed this video, I would love to know if it helped you at all. Would you please comment and let me know, and then we could talk. A quote from one of my kids' books: "Quite suddenly in September, a cold wind blows, and then it is fall."